What's going on, everybody? This is dkdynamite for a massive video here for you guys tonight. We're going to be talking about everything to be expected in Season 4 Reloaded, a gameplay trailer teaser for DLC 3, and even some more announcements from Treyarch. Definitely stay tuned. But before we jump into that, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below, because about 65% of you that watch my videos aren't subscribed. So make sure you guys are getting notifications every time I update you on Black Ops Cold War. But if you are subscribed to the channel, let me know in the comments how long you've been subbed for, and I'll try to reply to you as soon as I can. Really appreciate that. But first and definitely foremost, Treyarch confirmed that incoming this week, we have a new gunfight tournament in multiplayer, the snipers only mosh pit for 6v6, knife fight 3v3, which sounds interesting. We then have the Toten gameplay trailer confirmed to release tomorrow on July the 8th, and we then have double battle pass XP, the weekend itself starting on July the 9th, the last couple of days. Now I do have an appointment tomorrow morning, unfortunately, so I won't be able to stream the reaction to the Toten trailer, but I'll of course have a video breaking all of it down for you guys shortly after that, and plenty of other coverage dropping this weekend as well. I have the podcast on Friday and a gameplay stream planned for Sunday on top of that. Now Treyarch then revealed blueprints for the mannequin Klaus that we'll be seeing here in Toten. He is likely going to be the new version of the Civil Protector. We had Civil Protector back in Shadows of Evil, and a similar Atom bot in Alpha Omega, and he also resembles the mannequin Ivan who sits at all of our armor stations around the map, and the intel confirmed the name of the mannequin that we have throughout our current Cold War Zombies experiences. Now there's some notes on this blueprint saying things like, and I quote, "Hand-to-hand combat has some significant improvements, will now obey basic orders." And then says, "Do not hug, handshake, or high-five Klaus. He has no concept of human fragility." So I'm curious if it'll be needed for the main Easter egg, or how it'll be different from the previous versions of the Civil Protectors that we had in previous Black Ops games. But Treyarch then dropped a 5-second trailer tease of Toten where we get a glimpse of the power being turned on, the underground area. We have what looks like an actual mule on top of the new and improved Mule Kick machine, and Mule Kick's very clearly getting a glow up similar to Deadshot and Tombstone from, what is it, the Machina and Firebase. We then get a view of the beautiful city and a quick shot of Klaus towards the end there on the computer screen. So I will say tomorrow or Friday I'm also expecting a blog post breaking down everything we need to know about this map, the new perk tiers, possibly more. Then as usual we should be getting a Treyarch sit down video on their YouTube channel talking in depth about this map, the storyline, the gameplay features, similar to what we got for Firebase Z. For Firebase we got not only a reveal trailer featuring a new type of intro cinematic cutscene blended with gameplay, but we then got a separate video breaking down the entirety of the map with some of the Treyarch developers, including Craig Houston. But considering the marketing that we've gotten this past week for Season 4 Reloaded, it's been heavily emphasized that we'll be getting the Reloaded update on July the 15th. PlayStation Size also reported this by confirming the patch size is around 8 to 14 gigabytes on PlayStation platforms. They usually only confirm patch sizes for updates that are about to go live at least, within that next week, and they confirmed this a couple of days ago on Monday. So the preload for PS4 and PS5 should be going live this Monday night, with other platforms to follow shortly after that. It's also possible a tad bit of content goes live a couple of hours early. That usually happens when it's the start of a new season, but you never know what's going to happen this time around with Season 4 Reloaded. But do bear in mind, because of the preload going live likely this Monday, some curious Georges out there in the community will very likely be posting some heavy spoilers over on Twitter or Reddit for upcoming content in Black Ops Cold War. So unfortunately, if leaks aren't your thing, they are very common here in the Call of Duty community. So I definitely expect the Season 4 outro cinematic cutscene to be posted a little bit early by some data miners out there. So be aware of that if that isn't your thing as well, if you want to wait until it's officially dropped towards the end of Season 4. But now when it comes to new maps coming to multiplayer, all we know of right now, thanks to the current Season 4 roadmap, is Rush, a faithful remaster from Black Ops 2. And looking back at each of the past Reloaded updates for Seasons 1 through 3, we were definitely getting at least more than one map per Reloaded update, whether it went to Gunfight, 6v6, or even Fireteam. So this time around, if we don't get a map aside from Rush in any of the other modes, it'll be the first Reloaded update to date that doesn't give us very much in terms of multiplayer. So it's certainly possible the Reloaded roadmap that drops probably on Monday will end up offering some surprises of some sort for one of the modes in game. And considering Zoo is exclusive to Outbreak, which is unfortunate because it's a great region, we won't be seeing it in multiplayer, at least not for the foreseeable future, like we got with Duga and Golova. But could they take another region from Euro Mountains and surprise drop it next week? Totally a possibility. Now I highly doubt we'll see another remaster in Season 4, since we already have 2 for this season, Hijacked and Rush, but could one of the 3 maps that you see on screen also be a surprise drop next week, or are these being saved for Seasons 5 and 6 respectively? We already know Black Ops 2 is technically getting somewhat remastered in Black Ops Cold War, so you know what, I would not be shocked to see another remaster in Season 4, but I definitely think it's a bit unlikely. Let me know how you feel about that down below in the comments. I'm definitely betting on at least one more map, regardless of which mode it's for, to drop at some point next week. We also could have a map that could theoretically fit in Season 4, and that map is Echelon. Although it seems like it would be the Collateral, Mount Yemental, Apocalypse, or Pines of the season, right? The main focus. We actually reported on this map, I think it was back in December, which is crazy to think about. The theme of satellites and data this season could pave the way for this map. It takes place on rooftops and features giant domes and satellites around the area itself, also based out of real life history from the Cold War. So imagine if for the first time, the Season 4 outro cinematic cutscene leads into a bonus map that could surprise drop with the Reloaded update for that season, right? That wouldn't bother me at all, and there are plenty of images on the internet of this map in action for Black Ops Cold War and images of the map in real life. So I'll put the safe ones on screen and the spicy ones down below in the description in case you guys are interested. I'll be happy once this map releases, since we can stop talking about it, right? I've really been intrigued about this map for a number of months. Hopefully at the very latest it drops at the beginning of Season 5, but I'm just hoping for a Reloaded update that is on par with Season 1 Reloaded, which did bring us a number of different surprises to nearly all the modes in the game. Now, to be fair though, I would say we got the most amount of multiplayer content for a season here in Season 4 already, so if we don't get any more bonus maps aside from Rush, I would totally understand why. I'd rather save all that for the next season. But now to put on my tinfoil hat for a second, there's content already done in-game and more content that will be done, which hopefully doesn't get wasted and hopefully gets utilized for 6v6 multiplayer. So if they wanted to, they could add in a bonus multiplayer map called Duga Strike, because the entirety of Grid, a multiplayer map in Black Ops 1, is within the Duga region from Outbreak and Fireteam. So why not just cut corners off and release 6v6 version of Grid over in Black Ops Cold War multiplayer, 6v6. Even cut it off into a smaller section for gunfight. I'll take either one, right? Let's utilize content that's already done in the game. We also know about a future region from the Ural Mountains, the Weather Station, which is going to drop likely in Season 5 or 6, and Summit is apparently a part of that entire region as well. So another opportunity right there to break off some corners and just close it off for a 6v6 experience, right? I wouldn't mind that at all, but if they don't end up adding Summit, I wouldn't be upset. We've seen the map plenty of times already in every previous Treyarch game, but come on, Grid. Grid hasn't been remastered a single time, so why not bring that into multiplayer as a little bit of a bonus map, just to add some filler in there for a Reloaded roadmap, something I'm really looking forward to at some point in the future if they do end up going through with that one. Now, although Zoo isn't coming to Fireteam, as they confirmed in their previous broadcast, maybe they'll still section it off and add it to a part of multiplayer, whether it's 6v6 or gunfight, maybe not Fireteam. I'd love to see it in Fireteam, but that probably isn't going to happen. But right, if they section it off as, you know, a 6v6 map or even for 2v2, 3v3, then technically speaking, right, it is still exclusive to Outbreak, since we're not going to see the entirety of that region in multiplayer, just a small section of it. So I'll keep my fingers crossed for that one. But I also wanted to go over a new report from the Modern Warfare 2 Ghost, a pretty reliable Call of Duty leaker, who said, and I quote, "Remember I reported that I was told Castle from World at War was coming to Cold War. In all honesty, now I wonder if it was being worked on for COD 2021, and my person assumed it was for Cold War. Probably for a map in Season 5 or 6. Currently Season 5 is on pace to begin on August the 12th. So this will be great to see, right? I'm not against seeing beautiful maps like Rush or even Plaza come into Black Ops Cold War, but I also wouldn't mind seeing, like I said, some fan favorite Black Ops 1 maps that never got remastered a single time, or even go as far back as World at War. There were some great maps in that game that I would love to see in Cold War's playstyle. I mean, Black Ops 3 took it a step further by bringing in the map Rupture, which was a World at War remaster. There was a map called Verge, also a World at War remaster, so Black Ops 3 did it. I don't see why Cold War can't. Hopefully we'll end up seeing that in a future update. But the reason I bring this up is because this could also be just a very interesting surprise drop during a Reloaded update. I don't see this kind of map or experience dropping at the beginning of a season. I see a surprise remaster like Castle dropping in Reloaded, whether it's Season 4, 5, or even 6. You never know. But now in regards to weapons and operators, we've typically seen around 4 operators per season, but this season only confirmed 3. Weaver will be launching to coincide with the launch of Mauder Toten, and maybe they'll drop one more or even for free, similar to Captain Price in Season 3. We also have the OTS-9, similar to the Kapars from Black Ops 1, and we also have the Mace melee weapon. So we've already gotten plenty of weapons this season so far, so I wouldn't be mad if we don't get any other bonus ones on the Reloaded roadmap. Also, don't forget, we'll be getting a new list of bundles dropping this season once the Reloaded patch does drop on Monday. The list of bundles we have right now is not the final list for Season 4, just as a heavy reminder about that. Now, as far as modes, we currently know of Capture the Flag for multiplayer, a fan favorite of course, you guys know how that mode works, and then we heard about Payload for Warzone. So Payload is going to feature matches with just 40 players, similar to Fireteam, as they duke it out to see which team can escort the payload to the destination first. Sounds very interesting, and I think so far with the Cold War integration, Warzone has seen the best updates since its initial launch. You can disagree with that all you want in the comments, but I know Treyarch isn't really in charge of Warzone, but for some reason, that Cold War energy has just improved Warzone significantly, at least for Raven. They've added in some fairly interesting updates to this mode overall since, Season 1, when Rebirth first released, so I'm happy with the updates we're getting in Warzone right now. Now, Warzone is surprisingly getting the least amount of content for Season 4, according to this roadmap. But if that upsets you, just remember that we have Games of Summer and the 2021 Vanguard reveal inside of Warzone, likely dropping at some point in Season 5, similar to the Cold War marketing we got in Season 5 of Modern Warfare last year. But like I said earlier, definitely don't judge this video or the content I talk about just yet, since we don't have official confirmation on everything that's going to drop in Season 4 Reloaded, but when we do get that information, there'll be plenty more to talk about, I'm sure, especially for Warzone. Now, in terms of Dark Aether Camel support or FOV slider, I know I'm going to get comments about this, so I might as well address this now. I get the frustration, right? I just got Dark Aether very recently the other day in Cold War Zombies, so I would love to be using that camo in Warzone, but unfortunately right now, there are no updates on that. Now, if anything, this Reloaded update would be the perfect time to drop support for that, considering the big release for Zombies, right? Modern Toten, the new Perk, probably some other surprises. Where the hell is our camo support, right? I'm asking the same question as you guys, and I'm hoping that this does drop sooner than later. I would hate for that support to actually release when Vanguard drops. I think it makes the most sense to drop that when Cold War is the active Call of Duty, but considering a year 2 got rumored very recently by Tom Henderson and other insiders, they could end up dropping support for this camo as late as, the end of 2021, early 2022. FOV slider is also an unknown, but considering Vanguard will be on the Warzone engine, or I should say the Modern Warfare engine, it might be more likely that we see a big update like that once the integration with the next Call of Duty happens. But hey, if they end up making that work with this game, I'll take it. There's also a possibility we don't get support for FOV until the Modern Warfare sequel, since it's also been rumored that we'll be seeing a engine shift for Warzone once Modern Warfare 2 comes out, where they'll significantly improve how the game works, and maybe they'll unlink Warzone with the current Modern Warfare and link it instead with the second Modern Warfare. Totally a possibility, but hey, I'm also very optimistic for updates like this to make the Battle Royale experience a lot better. I also wanted to go over something that is going to make Season 4 Reloaded very interesting if you're on console. So as you guys may have seen, not only is there a severe cheating issue already across the board, and you of course see cheaters every now and again even in multiplayer, but that's primarily on PC. However, it has been reported by the anti-cheat police department on Twitter that the next generation of cheating will be available on console. And the video they posted showcases both Cold War and Modern Warfare. So keep this in mind, right? The next generation of hacking is about to flood the internet with Season 4 Reloaded. I mean, I think it's already begun now, but you'll be seeing more of this, of course, in Cold War going forward. But because Cold War isn't free, I wouldn't expect too much of this to be seen. I mean, yeah, you'll see it every now and again, but because Warzone is free, you'll be seeing more of this in that experience. And that's the thing, right? When it comes to, quote-unquote, where's the anti-cheat, I get it, right? Everybody gets frustrated, but let's make things very clear. Where did the ban waves come from? Of course there's an anti-cheat in Warzone. Of course there's one. It's not the best one, and I think it can be significantly improved, without a doubt. But because the game is free, it's just much easier for people out there to figure out how to up their game and keep incorporating new hacks every damn week. So, of course, there's improvements that could be made, but let's hold the people accountable for coming up with shit like this. Like, why? What is the point? What is the fun in this? I don't get it, but the thing about this, right, is constantly we're saying, right, crossplay should be turned off for PC sometimes. Let's find a way to disable crossplay with PC so that we run into less hackers. Now that doesn't matter. We're going to be seeing them on console as well. I mean, look at Apex, for example, right? A DDoS attack happened recently, and developers went ahead and said it's like playing a game of whack-a-mole, right? They find ways to improve their anti-cheats, find ways to ban more players and discover what the new cheats are, but there are new cheats being created almost every single week, every month. I mean, it's impossible to keep up with sometimes, with the staff they have, so it's unfortunate, but let's blame the people first for coming up with shit like this. Why does this exist? I don't see the fun in this at all, but want to let you guys know about this in the case you plan on playing more Colder multiplayer in Season 4 Reloaded and beyond. Something to look out for. But now when it comes to Onslaught, we'll be seeing support for Rush and a new mode called Onslaught Accelerated. It's unclear how fast this mode is going to be, but if it's faster than Containment, then we're in for a show. I'm expecting PlayStation to drop their own trailer for this new LTM in the next couple of days, as they usually do with each new LTM that gets added to Onslaught in every season. Now, I'm assuming this will replace Onslaught Containment for a temporary amount of time. I know right now the Onslaught menu is filled with regular Onslaught, Onslaught Nuketown, Onslaught Collateral, and then of course Containment. So let's see what happens with that. But no support for Onslaught has been announced for maps like Hijacked, Armada, Diesel, Mansion, or even Amsterdam. Some of these maps are of course in gunfights, so hopefully we see Containment support for some of these maps, but for the others, it's unclear what's going to happen. But maybe they'll talk more about this in the upcoming blog post that should be dropping in the next few days. But as a reminder, Onslaught is of course exclusive to PlayStation until November the 1st. And it isn't that far away, so when Xbox and PC get this mode, there'll be so much content in the mode alone that it should be endless replayability if you guys aren't a fan of Call of Duty 2021. We also got some surprise information about DLC 3 modder Toten from the leakers known as the Cheeseburger Boys. So as they went ahead and tweeted, would you like to see the return of traps in modder Toten? What about a similar take on the Coffin Dance Easter egg? Thoughts on elemental special zombies making an appearance? And yeah, those are obviously some references to what we should be expecting in modern Toten, so I almost forgot there aren't any traps in D Machina or Firebase, so I'm glad to see the return of those. Now the Coffin Dance, of course, very useful if you want to get free jug. I'm curious as to how it's going to work in Berlin. And elemental special zombies could work if they're balanced correctly. You don't want to see a spam of them like Wustlings or the Catalyst and the Chaos Story, so hopefully they balance that out, and I'm confident Treyarch has had the most time to develop this map and polish little gameplay aspects like that. But we didn't have an image floating out there already of what the menu is going to look like once Modern Toten does release. Now, a recreation of this image was already posted online, which I'll put on screen for you guys. The official image can't be put on screen for obvious reasons. And it does look like this new enemy will be maybe the Operation Boulder Nazi that went into the Dark Aether during World War II. And as Treyarch already teased, we're going to be seeing some older enemies resurface and exit the Dark Aether and come into Berlin. So that's probably who this is. Looks pretty creepy in the real image, so I'm very curious if this is going to be the Wustling type mini-boss for this experience. I'm looking forward to that. It looks very creepy. I think Modern Toten is on pace to be one of the best maps Treyarch has ever developed. Now, with the most time they've had to develop this map compared to other experiences, I don't see why this won't be one of the better maps they've ever made. Now, if it's not a great map, then I'm going to be like, wait, what on earth has been going on behind the scenes since, what, before February? Since before Firebase released? How long they've been working on this map? So, fingers crossed for the best experience possible. But that is about it. This has been dkdynamite. Leave all your thoughts down below in the comment section. What are your thoughts on everything to expect in Season 4 Reloaded? Again, as a huge reminder, more will be announced for this update once the official blog post and roadmap does go live. I'll be covering that in a separate video, and I'll be updating you guys with what else is going to drop in this update, and how do you feel about the gameplay trailer tease for DLC 3 and the other announcements from Treyarch on top of that. Really hope you've enjoyed, and peace out, everyone.